Hello everyone, my name is Voodoo, and today I'm going to go over a quick Heroic Sarkareth guide for you all. My guild killed it recently on Heroic on Thursday, so we're going to come in here, give you a bit of a Havoc POV, give you a bit of my thoughts on the fight, a little bit what to do in each scenario, and then that is going to be that. I'm going to plan to do this for the Mythic bosses as well as we killed them. We're progging Mythic tonight at 8:30 on the channel, if you want to come and hang out for that. But with that out of the way, if you enjoy the content, drop a like, drop a comment, and drop a sub. If you want to see the full unedited VOD of me just not talking, then I'll link in the description. It's going to be on my channel as well. With that, let's get into the video. So Sarkareth is a 3-phase fight on Heroic. It's not very long. I'd say it's roughly 6 to 7 minutes. It's a pretty good fight overall. I definitely enjoyed it. I do think Havoc has some good ability to do damage on it. There's 3 phases. Phase 1, you're fighting him. You're dealing with this like oppressing roar debuff. Phase 2, you're fighting him in some ads. He gets a little bit more void touched, and then in phase 3, he is consumed by the void, and the fight gets kind of crazy and wild. So this is our kill pull. Obviously, we're early on here, so the strat that we did probably might not be the best one overall. I know we lusted in P3. I do think it's better now to lust on pull because the phases are timed, so the more damage you get in P1 and P2 carries over to P3, and P3 is kind of a weird one for lusting. But that's going to be up to your guild, going to be up to each individual person as you do it. But overall, pretty good fight, pretty fun fight. I definitely enjoyed it. So we'll get into it. I'll go over the mechanics. I'll give some Havoc tips when I can. So we're going to start off here on pull. So on pull, there's 2 important mechanics. So right away, he's going to do this thing called Scorching Bomb. Now, I'm going to pause it here to show you guys that I don't have a ranged POV. Scorching Bomb is this big swirly here. So what this does is put out a big pulsing fire thing that deals damage around it, and then explodes to leave a puddle. So the range basically want to be baiting this, and we're going to be moving along the platform here, basically all the way down here. Eventually the range will come out and around like this, just to drop these puddles away from melee and away from the group. You can see here they come out every like 30 seconds or so, and the stage 2 starts in about 2 minutes. So you get about 4 to 5 of these bombs. So it's very important for range to all be stacked together away from melee, away from the boss, and just kind of baiting these as they go around. The next important mechanic is going to be Oppressing Howl, and this is the main one of the fight. So you can see here in 0.6 seconds, something called Glittering Surge is about to start. This is just a lot of raid damage that comes out right here. And then after that, he's going to do a mechanic called Oppressing Howl, which puts a debuff on your character. So Oppressing Howl is a knockback. It's going to come out right about here. So this is Oppressing Howl, boom, knockback, and now I have this debuff on me. My debuffs are hidden by accident. I kind of forgot this is in a bad spot. But this is the debuff icon. And basically what this does is that whenever you get hit by a mechanic, it's going to remove it, but give you like an extra effect. So it's kind of like the Evoker ability, Oppressing Howl. They remove enrages, and then also like increase the duration of CC. That's kind of what's going on here. You need to remove this stack before Glittering Surge happens. If you don't, you will die. That's just going to be it. The way you remove those stacks are through Mass Disintegrate and Breath. So we'll skip ahead a bit here. The first Mass Disintegrate is going to come out in 2 seconds. So this is the first ability. This is Mass Disintegrate. It's going to be 2 lines that come out and target players. They're going to go out and hit that player and stop. Whenever you get cleared by that, you get a dot and a slow. So if you can, you want to not be clearing with that. The other way to do it is with this Searing Breath here. This is a frontal that targets people. Here it comes out. You want to split your raid in 2 and have half the raid soak the first one, half the raid soak the second one. Because whenever these are removed, you'll see it's going to do a ton of damage. So we'll take a hit, take here, boom, everyone took a lot of damage there. We have a shout, all that stuff. So the thing with that debuff as well, if we go back here, the breath actually pulses multiple times, and when you get hit by it, you end up taking a dot. So I actually miss it because it's a cone. You want to be a little bit further back if you can, probably max melee range. I do end up missing it because I thought it was a bit wider than it was, but it's not a big deal. I just go on the second one and clear it then. But it's going to remove this stack and then also give you this magic debuff. So what you want to do is you want to get hit by it once. You want to get ticked by it only one time. And then get out of there so that you don't get multiple stacks of the magic debuff on you. But you can see here, those people who cleared now have a debuff instead of the howling thing. So they all have this fire debuff. And you want to have the fire debuff instead of the blue debuff. The fire debuff is less damage and also isn't as slow. And that's kind of basically P1. So it's going to repeat here. We're having another breath come out in roughly 4 seconds. Now for this one, we committed my darkness to it. Darkness is a great thing to have here. You can see here, I got ticked multiple times. So I got ticked once, and then we cleared the debuff, and then I stood in it a little bit too long and got ticked again, so I got the dot. You don't want to do that. I actually got 2 stacks of the dot here. I'll be Cleanse eventually. As Havoc, you can definitely live it. But it is definitely a scary dot, especially with all the other damage coming out in this phase. So if you can help it, you want to try and not get ticked by that dot. Especially because as these bombs explode, you can see here we have this other dot on us, and that was the bombs exploding. So there's a lot of damage coming out of this phase, a lot of damage coming out right now. So it's very important that you don't end up getting double ticked. So you get in, get hit by one fire breath, and then get out. And that's kind of just this phase. We're going to go basically until the end of this Glittering Surge here. Just kind of getting hit and just kind of avoiding. P1's pretty easy as long as your range are baiting these fire bombs in good spots. See here, these ones are far enough away where we're not getting hit by them. It's kind of all you want. Then you're just going to DPS, 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 and it doesn't really end up mattering that much. So skip ahead a bit here to the Glittering Surge. So she's going to do a Massive Grenade, and then after that, it's going to be the Disintegrating Glittering Surge that is going to mark the phase transition. So I am holding the Hunt here, and I hold this to blow up some ads at the start of P2. Not sure if that's right or not. It's just what I found success doing. So this Glittering Surge comes out. You're going to be taking a lot of damage here. We have the other Demon Hunter commit their darkness here. So really heavy cooldowns on this Glittering Surge. Tons of damage. This is roughly 2 minutes into the fight. You're going to take a ton of damage because everyone's ticking. Everyone's getting hit by Glittering Surge. It's going to really hurt. So after the Glittering Surge, the boss flies away and goes immune. Takes 99% less damage. Not a lot of point in DPSing it. You can on Heroic. You shouldn't on Mythic because you do want to stack up. But you're going to be DPSing this down, and then it's going to stack up this dot on you called Oblivion, and then you're going to phase into P2. So like I said, P2 is going to start right as that Glittering Surge stops, and this is going to introduce a new mechanic, this, Oblivion. So Oblivion is a very hard-hitting dot that gets applied to you from all Void abilities, which at this phase of the fight is most of your abilities. You get hit by. So it's going to do a lot of damage to you, and you do want to deal with it in a very interesting way. So whenever you get 10 stacks of this, the stacks are cleared, but you go down into another dimension, the space between stars, and have to collect 3 swirlies within a time limit and come back up, or else you'll die. Now, you don't ever have to do this except for on P2 phase, where the boss forces you all to go down. And there are mechanics that will make you go down to do this. I'll talk about them as they come up. As a melee, you're not going to deal with a lot of them, but they do exist. They will be happening. So this is the dot that comes out on you. You're going to get 10 stacks here. And then you're going to auto phase down into the space between stars. So when you're down here, you will have a bomb. So the bomb will go off. You can see, I know it's hard to see because of this music thing. But there is a little thing down here, 3 seconds. That is my bomb timer. And this is the space between stars. So when you're down here, you want to end up grabbing as many of these little motes as possible. You get 10 of them, which is a massive haste and movement speed buff. On the top end, the tanks will be basically, as a tank, you want to take 5 and then come up. As DPS, you take 10 and then come up. And whenever you come up, tank should wait a little bit, but the boss will be doing a kick. You want to kick that as late as possible. And whenever that boss is kicked, it'll stop doing that and then immediately come out with an Abyssal Breath. Now this is baited at ranged. We didn't bait it very well. We were just kind of going. You can bait this if you want and have your range stack everywhere. But then the ads spawn. So this is what I was saving my hunt for. So I hunt in, and you want to just kind of blow up these ads. Now these ads on Heroic do have a debuff on them that heals them. It's right down here. The first set normally will line up with a ton of people's cooldowns. You'll have all the haste. So the first set should just kind of blow up. But to remove that, what you want to do is bait these swirlies here on your melee and then kite the ads through them. So these are the void things, and this will remove any applications of the healing that exist on the ads. And it's very important in P2 to do this. In P3, you'll have ads still and won't have any of this, so you do have to be a bit careful there. So again, proper way is to bait your melee kind of where you're going on top of the ads. And then kite the ads through it. Again, first set just kind of gets blown up, but you should still probably be doing this. This dot in P2, whenever you have 7 stacks in P2, you want to go stand in these swirlies and get sent down, reset your stacks, and come back up because the dot will start ticking a lot. So nothing too much happening here. You get a few seconds of DPS, and then the heroic mechanic will come out. Infinite Duress. So this is a knockback dispel. And basically what's going to happen, this one's going to come out at the same time as the tank bomb. So the player wants to go to the outer edges here and kind of just line themselves up to get knocked back into like the middle. So our player here is going towards the edge. We see here, this is the tank bomb. This is the tank mechanic in P2. So we're going to wait for that to go off. And then we're going to dispel this and knock everybody back away from them, staying on the platform. Now there is one more mechanic that comes out in P2. It's very, very important, and it is these bombs. So we'll get there when we come up to them. We'll get another breath here. Now these ones do need to be kited into the Desert Blossoms right there. So root them, stun them, slow them. Just make sure they get their thing removed. Very, very important. Blast them, blow them up, all that jazz. And then after that, you get another infinite duress. So at this point, we actually end up phasing the boss during this duress. So this is a 40% phase. It's a hard phase. So we're going to rewind a little bit because I do want to show you guys bombs. We'll see what the first bomb set is. Where is the first bomb set? I don't even know where the first bomb set is. There. Okay. So these swirlies spawning here, I know it's a little hard to see. My bit rate's a little low in the stream, so I apologize for that. But if we come here, so these swirlies here are the bombs. So these come out and they pulse damage. So you want a range player to soak them immediately. And then the range player has to go down into the downstairs phase before the bombs blow up. That's basically how you deal with that mechanic. So we see our warlock there is going to soak the bomb, and then he's going to go stand into this puddle after a few seconds. So they have some time before the bomb blows up. We'll see if I flip my camera around. Yeah, I do. So watch this warlock. And warlock's standing in now, and the warlock will get sent down, and the bomb's going to blow up downstairs and not be a big deal for us. So that's basically how you deal with that mechanic. Pretty simple. Just have a player stand in the swirly as the bomb comes down, soak the bomb up, and then end up going into the Underrealm before the bomb blows up. So the bomb blows up with nobody around, and you're all good to go. So then another Abyssal Breath happens. We DPS these ads down. And then we phase right as the second Dispellable dot comes out. If you have a little bit less DPS, you're going to get another set of ads. You're going to get another set of bombs, stuff like that. But you deal with them all in the same way. So bombs coming out. I'm saving meta here just for Lust and P3. If you Lust on pull, you could probably just send it on that ad set. Not be a big deal. But I'm saving it for Lust personally. So boss phases at 30%. We have another Dispel right there. We're going to get Dispelled right now. Boop. And then we are phasing into P3. So at the beginning of P3, there is a very large knockback and suck. So we're going to see here the window breaks, we get pushed back, then we get sucked forward. And during that time, you want to stay in the middle because you want to end up baiting this big black circle that's going to be, it's called Cosmic Ascension. You want to bait that into the middle. What's going to happen is the knockback dot's going to go out. That person is going to move towards the back of the room. We're going to bait this here. And then we're going to dispel the knockback debuff, kick us out of the circle, and then they're going to take a gate. So we see it here. We get knocked out of the circle. They're going to take a gate out of there. And that is, then we're all going to bait the rocks into this area here. This is very important. So these rocks are going to spawn and allow you to live another mechanic. See there, they all spawn on players. So those rocks allow you to live the, I forget what it's called, Scouring Eternity or whatever. And you'll see it when it comes out. The reason you bait them there is because they're going to come out from the big window on this side of the room and do big lines that come through. Those lines, you want to hide in them while Scouting Eternity happens, or else get blown off the platform. So very important to kind of bait them there. There's also a little a soak that comes out. This soak will destroy any of these meteors, but realistically, you don't really want to destroy any on Heroic. You shouldn't need to. You can destroy a few in the second few sets. But if you leave these here, then you don't need to move the boss around randomly. There's another mechanic happening here. This is going to be a big, hard-hitting frontal. If you have high stacks of the dot here, like see this Demon Hunter has 7. In the third phase, you want to go down to 5. But if you have high stacks of the dot and this is targeting you, you will die. That is basically what happened to me later on in the fight. But right now, we're soaking the thing in the ground here, getting out of it, and just kind of DPSing the boss down. Bombs are still happening, so when you get a bomb in this phase, you want to get hit by the swirly. It gives you 5 stacks pretty quickly. And you're kind of just DPSing, trying to do bombs as best as you can. And this is Scouring Eternity. So you can tell what happens. I phase through into the other realm, which is pretty fine. It all happens by these big winds that come through. So those winds are going to project out these lines behind these meteors, and you just kind of get in there. I phase here a bit on purpose. I had high stacks. It's a good time to phase here. So I go and I collect my stuff. There's another one later I'll show. When I collect all my things, I try and get 10, and then I come back up. It's, pretty nice. Haste is good. Come back up, and it's very important when you come up here to not ever stand on top of tanks. So the tank frontal is going to kill people in the raid if someone else gets hit by it. This bomb just goes to the outside. But the tank frontal, basically what it does is it hits you and puts a dot on you, and then based on the amount of damage you've taken from the dot is how much you're going to blow up for the raid. So it's very important you don't get hit by the tank frontal like ever. There's just another black hole circle. We get knocked out of it pretty easily. Shaman just yeets himself out of there. I think he actually ends up dying to it. And then we spawn more of these cereals, these things. So we get another Scouring Eternity coming after here. You get some time to just DPS. At this point, you probably want to DPS the ads down, but at the same time, the boss does also need to die. There's more bombs, so bombs just need to be picked up, sent down. Pretty simple. The fight kind of just repeats itself. That was the tank frontal, so we'll rewind and just show you guys what I mean by the tank frontal. So there's the scream. So that's the tank frontal right there. If anyone else is there where the tank is, the raid just wipes, which is unfortunate. So here is the barrage. So these bombs are going to go down. Barrage is a mechanic where you need to make sure you have low stacks going into it. I have 7 stacks. I was dumb here. I should have went down when I got it. So I'm getting ticked for like 80k. I run out of the raid with my bomb thing on me. I get Hurling Barrage, so I run all the way over here. But what ends up happening is that his barrage clips me. I get clipped by this barrage, and then tank frontal goes off at the same time. So I end up dying. But it's whatever. So these are the lines to stop the pushback that I was talking about. So very important there. I don't know why. I'm going to face the raid here in a second. Yeah. So Scouring Eternity comes out. Going to blow through here. So if you're behind these rocks, you don't take any damage. The damage comes from basically these asteroids pulsing. So at a certain point, you probably do want to end up clearing some. But again, we didn't clear it and we didn't have that big of an issue. Just a little soak here. And at this point, the boss is pretty much dead. It's just, deal with the knockbacks. Deal with the soaks. P3, I think, is pretty free in my opinion. There's just a lot of damage going out, but the mechanics aren't very hard. And boss will fall over here in just a second. People are dropping a little bit, but again, hey, we did it. It's all that matters. Barrage. These barrages I don't even think have a chance to go off. And then boss just kind of dies. You get your loot. We didn't get that much good loot, but it is what it is. So there you go. He's all dead. So I think the main takeaways from this fight for Havoc is that you really want to end up doing damage to the ads whenever you get a chance to. The ads do live a long time in P3. They happen every Cosmic Ascension. We go back a bit. You can find a Cosmic Ascension here. Yes, they happen every time one of those goes off, which is unfortunate, but it's whatever. We probably should have been clearing these back rocks here with the soaks, but again, it's whatever. We ended up killing the boss. It doesn't really matter. But that's kind of the boss as the Havoc POV. I will link the VOD down in the description if you guys want to watch it with me talking unedited. That's kind of going to be the mechanics, a little quick overview of Heroic. I hope that kind of helps you guys out a bit, lets you know what we did. If you want to see more of these for like Mythic and all those boss fights there, hopefully with a little bit more of a little bit more polish on it, let's say, then let me know. Pretty easy to do. We're doing Mythic tonight, hoping to get the first 3 or 4 down. So if you want to come check that out, 8:30 p.m. on my channel is when it'll be happening. Should be a good time. Should be a fun time. So with that is it for me today. I will catch you guys all later. Hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck on your Vaults Tuesday. Good luck with the raids, whoever who's raiding tonight. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.